Hey everybody, the NHL All Star Game is upon us, so today here at Clearing the Benches, we're having an All Star Extravaganza. But before we get to that, we just wanted to have a quick word from our sponsor, SunshineGirlsAZ.com. If you like fun t-shirts, they've got a lot of hockey t-shirts, shirts for guys, gals, kids. And as always, if you punch in CTB10 in the code, you will save 10% off of your purchase. So go ahead and give SunshineGirlsAZ.com a look. Okay, the All-Star Game is here, and this will be the 68th All-Star Game. This will be the 9th time that Toronto has hosted. I went through the history books a little bit, and I found out that Montreal hosted the All-Star Game 12 times. New York, Madison Square Garden, you would think they had it a bunch of times. Twice, 1973 and 1994. Even Atlanta hosted an All-Star Game in 2008. And then I was looking at the other side of things. Arizona, not a sniff, 0. The All-Star Game was also created because there was an incident that happened during a season, and it was really controversial, and the NHL wanted to kind of get two guys to bury the hatchet. So Eddie Shore takes a run. In some people's opinion, it was a cheap shot at a guy named Ace Bailey. Bailey goes down, hits his head on the ice, fractures his skull. It was a really big incident. It really shook the hockey world. People took one side or another, and it was pretty divisive for its time. So the NHL decided that they wanted to get these two guys together, and they wanted to have them bury the hatchet and shake hands at center ice. So that's exactly what they did. And, you go back and you look at, some of the people's accounts of what happened. And they said that day it was really tense. They didn't know, if Ace Bailey was going to pull a lead pipe out of his suit pocket and hit him over the head at center ice. But he didn't. Instead, he shook his hand. And thus, the All-Star Game was created. So I was also looking at some numbers. You got a lot of really big numbers. And, of course, some of them come from, the founding fathers of hockey, the Mount Rushmore of the NHL. Most games played, All-Star games. Gordie Howe, 23 All-Star games. He played in an All-Star game when he was just 2 months shy of his 52nd birthday. Who's got the most goals in all the All-Star games? Of course, it's Wayne Gretzky. He's got 13 career All-Star game goals. Who's got the most points? You guessed it, Gretzky, 25 in 18 games. But who's got the most assists? Joe Sakic, 16. And, of course, I'm pretty sure you can guess this one. Who's got the most penalty minutes? Gordie Howe, 25 penalty minutes in 23 games. And yes, that included a fight. In the 1948 All-Star Game, Gordie Howe dropped the gloves with Gus Mortson. So, another one, the Gordie Howe hat trick was born. I mean, that guy did it all. He didn't care. He wanted to win. It didn't matter what the situation was. He wanted to win. So, Gordie Howe did it all, including a fight at the All-Star Game. I was looking at some of the scoring things. Most goals in the All-Star Game was done 4 goals, by 9 different guys. Gretzky, Lemieux, and Crosby are on that list. And to me, one of the most insane All-Star stats is most points in a game by one guy, Crosby. 8 points he had in 2019 on 4 goals and 4 assists. In 1997, Owen Nolan scored 2 goals in 8 seconds. In 2008, Rick Nash opened the game 12 seconds in with the goal. And talk about leaving your defense and your goalies at home. In 2015, Team Taves, 17, Team Foligno, 12 for 29 goals, including 11 in the second period. Now, you want to feel sorry for somebody? Feel sorry for a goalie at the All-Star Game at the NHL. Glenn Hall, 13 times he was in the All-Star Game as a goalie. He played 540 NHL All-Star Game minutes, which is the equivalent to like 9 full games, which to me, Especially nowadays, they put a goalie in, they take his picture, they get a picture of him making a big save. You know, they do maybe 1.5 periods, and then they move him out and they get the next guy in there. Tim Thomas, 4 straight All-Star game wins as a goalie. And on the other end of things, Patrick Waugh, and he was in, you know, a good amount of All-Star games, gave up 27 goals during his career. 1973, the NHL said, hey, let's get these guys to put a little better effort forth. And so they decided that they were going to give out a car to the MVP. And the first guy who won it was Greg Polis. Polis, I believe, was the #1 overall draft pick by the Washington Capitals the year before. And it just didn't pan out for him over his career. You know, I looked, and most of the time that these All-Star games are played, you see a lot of awesome goals. You don't see much defense, but it's always a good time. So with the game coming up a day or two away, I just wanted to give some people some facts out there, let everybody know, you know, what's happened in the past, how the All-Star game came about. And if you could, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And as we always do here at Clearing the Benches, let them know you're out there.